Hello, this is Dr. Wendy Rowley, and this is video 2 of the series, The New Christ Connection. I'm going to get right out of the way so we can keep these short and sweet because you are busy people, as we are all. Thank you. Oh, good day to you, dearest beings of light. This is Aliene of Cosmic Service, Pleiadian Mother of Sound. And we are sort of in a halvesies. So there's, at high soul, there's 3 ways of channeling. You can be half in and half with your channel, or you could be all the way out and the channel is very present, or you can be completely out and there's some profound work going on. And that's the way it is at high soul channeling, which is right next to high mind channeling, which is something a lot of people are doing now. Okay, so in this second video, we would like to discuss the Bardo from the human perspective on what happens in each day very quickly. And this will probably make a lot more sense to healers and people who have studied spiritual anatomy and energy work. And the words might be new to some of you. So it might not interest all of you, but there's some people that it very much interests, and we wish them to have this information. And you might find it interesting even if you're not interested, because it's good to know. Believe it or not, the more spiritual information your soul knows and your higher self knows and your consciousness knows, the wiser you are, believe it or not. It's not the only definition of wisdom, but it definitely adds to wisdom. Okay, so the first day after you pass from the body, and people said on the other side of the veil who are still in bodies say, you have passed. In that first day, you take that last breath and you move into a different type of breath that is a soul breath, for the soul still breathes. It doesn't breathe the oxygen that your physical body needs, but it breathes another type of what you call oxygen at a more refined level. Not the one that people call organ, that they can see in a body with their spiritual vision that looks like little balls that go into leaves. At the bottom of leaves is how they get their oxygen, through the organ, and this can be seen with your clairvoyant vision. They have a more refined level of something else that is breathed, that enlivens the spirit body, that is related to oxygen. And that's the first thing that transitions. And then you kind of end up going, wow, I'm still here. Because you are a consciousness more than you are a being with a body. So then what happens is your astral energy is starting to move away and move off of your old, no longer used physical body. And the astral energy is your spiritual nature. It's your spirit body. It has all of your information with you. All of your Earth's history, all of your soul and galactic history are with you all the time in your spirit body, which is your main body, really. It's the body that you have through your entire incarnations on Earth. Your human physical body, when you come into an incarnation or a life, 3-day window in, 3-day window out, time you come back in. Now, this is a belief system to some people. To some people, it's real. They've had experiences to let them know it has. This one has had those kinds of experiences. So to her, it's real. And to us, it's real. And to many people, it's real. It is surprising that 75% of the people on the earth believe in the continuation of life after death. And about 68% of them believe in the continuation of incarnations on earth. This is a little known fact, that this many people on earth actually believe that. This has never kind of come forward before, but the majority of people do believe in the continuation of life. And they have a feeling that it is so, because the majority of the people on the planet are fairly old souls. And that's the way the system's designed, to keep the memory of spirit alive in people and in cultures and races and nations, the whole system. So your separating from the physical body, and there's divas and elementals that help in that process because we never create alone. And you're moving into the new oxygen system and the new spirit body that you have. For every incarnation creates an evolution in your spirit body. So you're now moving into a new one at the end of an incarnation, which is very exciting if you think about it from our perspective. And that's day 1. Day 2 in the death Bardo is you're now in your astral body, you're fairly solid, and you are now separating what is called your etheric energy from your spirit body. Now, your etheric energy is 3 things. It is the enlivening energy that is like a vital force in your physical body. And it's seen by people who can see the aura with their spiritual or clairvoyant vision as a little blue sheath just above the skin. And this one has seen it, as many have that have. And so that's one aspect. The second aspect of the etheric energy is that it is part of an engine of wheels and energetic systems that allow thought to be created, travel through quantum evolutionary entanglement, and be destroyed because they need to be, because they are part of a transitory reality. Believe it or not, thoughts are not part of permanent reality. They are a changing, coming and going kind of thing. And that's how consciousness evolves. It makes sense. So that's the second application of the etheric. The third application of the etheric is the spiritual side of it that carries all of the wisdom that you learned in your lifetime up to the golden Akash in the noosphere and into a golden Akash in the center of the earth. Now, this also changes at the Great Shift. This system changes where your golden Akash, if the individual, is no longer in the center of the earth, but it is now going to be up at the noosphere in a separate section that you will have your individual Akash and your group Akash up in the noosphere, which is the area of the collective. This is the area of large tribes and family groups of your past history. It's the area of the beginning of nations and cities. It is your group history. And your individual history is now going to join alongside your group history. Why? Because you are evolving into a group consciousness. It makes sense when you think about it. No longer so separated. So that is the third aspect of your spiritual anatomy with the etheric energy, that it would take your group consciousness up in the past, or actually still now, because we haven't done that Christ connection yet, but it takes your etheric energy up to the noosphere of the group, and it takes your individual experience of the spiritual wisdom you learned down into your soul forces in the center of the planet. And at the Great Shift, that changes and it shifts to where we said they're both up at the periphery of the planet. So you are unhooking from the etheric energy, and you're mainly unhooking from the karmic part, which you re-pick up when you come back in an incarnation, and you are riding up on your wisdom and your golden Akash to the soul. And we've spoken about the golden Akash in other tapings. It's basically the recordings of all your good deeds and your wisdom that you learned. And that's the healing part of the healing forces that you use to then heal your disharmonies in other times, places, spaces, incarnations, or even on the other side of the veil, because you can do healing once you are in spirit out of a body. It just is a lot slower. That's all. So that's what happens in day 2. You are separating from that etheric energy. In day 3, you are continuing that journey of separation. You are working and clearing away some levels of your individual evolution. And you are sort of making some setups for what you would want to work on in your next incarnation and what you would want to learn. A little bit of that goes on here. A little more of it goes on once you're in with your soul and your higher self. And then there's a huge light explosion. This one has seen this. We're going to describe it because it's fascinating. We had her see this with her mother's passing. She was in Connecticut, her mother was in Florida. We told her there was going to be a large quantum healing, and we would wake her up in the night to come see it. And we did, and we woke her up at 3 in the morning, and she came down, meditated, got in her space, and we just told her to watch. Put up her mock-up of a person to watch. And what she saw was an explosion of light, and a whole bunch of stuff happened. Then she saw in the chest a huge explosion of light, and woof, 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 and down one channel and up another channel, and woof. When this happened, she realized this had to be what the Orientals call the white dot, which is, they have some information about the Bardo and the passing in the Oriental medicine because it's an older culture and an older healing paradigm history. And so they have some information there that's useful. And at that point, she realized the person was passing away, and it was her mother. And we said, yes, passing imminent. She got in a plane, and she walked in the door, and she was passing away, literally from her body in that moment. Because we brought her into quantum time and showed her the future of that day. So what was that she saw? What were those two beautiful white bursts of light? They were what are called the benevolent bands, and they start to become very active in the third day of the Bardo. And this is the light and the Christ feeling that people find in the Bardo on the third day now. That they go, oh, this is home, I feel this wonderful flood of love comes, this flood of light comes, and this sensation comes, and that sense of a tunnel comes that people who have had past life experiences talk about. As we've said, though, they're going up a side channel, not the death Bardo channel. They're going up a side channel where they couldn't get out of the body, and their soul's giving them an experience so that they reinstigate their soul forces in purpose, that they have an experience that's spiritual, and they come back with a big purpose that they want to live and tell people about that experience and the wonder of spirit. And it's purposeful. So the benevolent band begins, and there's the one around your torus. There's one around the inside of the farthest edge of your inner torus. And around your outer torus, on the outside, there's another one, and that's the big one that goes to the noosphere. So she was watching this one's soul and Christ energy engage in the benevolent band as the soul came and got her and called her home and took her home. And when she went, and we're going to tell her to relax because she doesn't like her private life out, but we want this to be known. When she went down and walked in the door and saw her mother was literally leaving her body, she didn't want to interfere. And the nurse came over and she said, oh, come over and say hello to your mother. She's not able to speak. She lapsed into that, but she's, come say hi. And she said, no, let us go into the kitchen and catch up. My mother is transitioning. The woman didn't know what she meant. And they went into the kitchen, and she just said how she's been doing. And she told her, and then the woman said, okay, let's go see your mom. And she looked at her and she said, she's gone. She was passing away when I walked in the door. And they walked back in the room, and her mother was gone. And the woman was flabbergasted because she did not sense it happening. And that was that. But one thing was very unusual that this one had never seen. She looked at her mother's face, and she saw bliss and a smile. Her eyes were open, like she was seeing something. And we never told her this, but she did see something. She saw her mother For that's the last human, excuse this one, just getting a little emotional. That's the last human that anyone sees on their way out of a life. They see their mother because they were born through them. And she was actually very glad to see her. And there was a bond of love between them that burst open. So that was what she saw in her mother's face. And we wanted that to be there because she worked very hard with her mother in healing, and she did a lot of healing work with her, including all the way through her end of life. So her mother had a beautiful passing and was home in her bed because of this one. And we wanted her to have this gift. So we're going to sign off because she's getting a little emotional. Peace be with you. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do. We bid you do.